Hello and a very warm welcome to Innovating India, the show that gets you all the amazing innovation that's happening in the country. Today we have with us Shreya Srinivasan, who's heading the Paytm Mini App Store. Now, what is Paytm Mini Apps? Well, they're taking on Google, they're taking on a global giant, and they are calling out the unfair practices, according to them, that Google indulges in. So let me get Shreyas in. Shreyas, many thanks for joining us, and we are excited about this conversation about Paytm, a homegrown company, taking on a global giant. You've started a conversation around dominance of global players and how they might be indulging in exploitative practices. So, what does it really take for a company like Paytm to take on a global giant? Just take us through a little bit of that.
Thank you, Shweta, for having me on the show. It honestly, from taking on a global company, I don't think it's a technology challenge anymore. I think a lot of Indian homegrown companies have the technology wherewithal to compete with global companies. Yes, traditionally, global companies have had a step in terms of the numbers. Technology has been a mainstay of global economies. We've only seen that resurgence in India of technology becoming the mainstay of the Indian economy in the last years. Today, use apps for everything from e-governance, digital payments, for medication, medicine, and so on and so forth. Entire app system has become central to India's growth.
Right.
And it's our view that for something so strategic and important, just having a single company control 95% of the market is not only bad for innovation, I think it's bad for India in the long run. And our ability to take on Google is not limited by technology. We're very confident we'll be able to build technology which compete. I think it's a lot about now making sure that the playing field is leveled so that Indian companies can get the same level of access on the Android App Store as Google does. As you know, Google controls the Android operating system and the application store on Android. So as long as other companies are allowed to build their own application stores, publish it, and get this leveled, will do just fine.
Right. So, Shreyas, I want to talk about, getting the infrastructure ready to take on a global giant, right? Because there is a risk of failure here. You mobilize a conversation, but then it could fall flat. So, what is the kind of prep work that happened before you decided that, okay, we're going to go out and, call out Google against this?
So if you work in startups, I think you're used to living on the edge. We like it. We've been working on this for the last 8 months. Our strategic viewers, we are not just the Paytm Mini App Store is standing on the shoulder of a giant. The shoulder of a giant in this case is Paytm itself. Paytm is now a known household brand with 100 million monthly users. So anyone would compete with Google or Apple and build a store which allows app developers to reach majority of India. It's Paytm. So what we have done is it's a web app. Each mini app is a web app which allows users to use that web app within the main Paytm app. That is the Paytm Mini App Store. And we will allow developers from across India, small and large, an ability to build applications and use Paytm's technology and distribution to build a business. Right? And that journey is about 8 months now for us. We started with about 400 apps in the last 2-3 months in a beta, very closed down mode. And after saw that we were able to add value to those developers is when we announced it and we opened it up. And we're hoping that we'll have 1 million apps on this store in about a year.
Okay, so what are the challenges that you foresee, in terms of the regulatory aspect, in terms of the infrastructure aspect, when you take on a global giant? What are the pitfalls of doing that? The challenges that you've come across and you are expecting?
So there are some challenges on the platform level. As you might seen, there is a global conversation happening right now about monopoly. I think both in Europe and in the US, lawmakers are having active conversations with the big four technology companies and evaluating if they're using their technology advantage to limit competition.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the challenges are to make sure that we are able to participate in this market, right? And the ability to participate in this market is to build and publish something on Android, which is an app store of sorts. Challenge. The second challenge is once you build an app store, it's a huge endeavor. You need to be able to millions of apps. You need to be able to review them. You need to be able to make sure they are secure, and then you need to be make sure that consumers get the right customer experience, right? So those are the two large challenges. One is access to the platform, and the other is operational to scale this app store to millions of apps. So our hypothesis is very simple. Competition breeds innovation and excellence.
Absolutely.
Allow competition. Allow Indian companies a playing field which is leveled, and you will see the innovation for India, which you now seen in payments, right? And it's not just Paytm. India is a shining beacon for payments across the world. What NPCI has done and what UPI has done is incredible, and it's homegrown. We will find those in other fields too. I'm very hopeful that we will build an app store which the world wants to copy. It's just the you need the infrastructure, and you need the playing field to be leveled for it.
Absolutely. Okay, very quickly, any advice for startups who are looking at taking on global giants? The three things that you would recommend that they need to get their act together on before they take on a global giant.
Yeah, start with your strength. Our strength is we know this market. We know what Indians want. We're a huge market, so we have a strength of having access to this market and very keen understanding of this market. So that's the strength, right? Start with building something Indians want and love. Second, we are sitting on an amazing amount of technology talent. There is a reason why the world is coming to India to hire technology people. Use that to build great teams.
Okay.
And three, be bold. I think if there's anything we've all learned from Vijay's vision is really be bold. Really know that 100 million is a small number, a billion is a number, and 10 billion is a number. And be ambitious. I think sometimes when you start out, it's hard for you to visualize hundreds of millions, right? So being ambitious is a very important trait too. So I think those three things: start Indian, know your market, build for your market, use our technology talent to really build a stellar team, and really be ambitious.
Super. All right. So be audacious in your dreams, and of course, do your homework. Thank you very much, Shreyas. It was a pleasure talking to you, and we wish Paytm Mini App Store the very best. Thank you.